All right, we are in our last video on sentence diagramming. This is part 3. We're going to be looking at conjunctions today and all the different kinds of conjunctions that there are. So, first of all, we have what conjunctions are in general. They're a word that connects two phrases. There's a video, there was a video in my slides, but there's just a picture here since it's printed. But if you just search up Schoolhouse Rock conjunction junction, this video will come up and it has a pretty clear explanation as to what a conjunction is, and it also has a song that gets stuck in your heads so that you don't forget what a conjunction is. But another way to remember it is fanboys, for, ands, nor, but, or, yet, so. It spells out fanboys. These are some of the basic conjunctions. There are more advanced ones, but these are just the basics. So, looking at sentence diagramming with conjunctions, we've got our first type of use here. When you have compound subjects, that's when you have more than one subject in a sentence. Here's your template. You have your subject on one line, your second subject on another line, and then you put your conjunction on a dotted line in between them. When you're doing this, we have our normal line, right? We have your normal line with subject, verb, whatever. You're pretty much taking this horizontal line and you're splitting it into two. So now it's two lines, but you're just cutting it in half. So that's what's happened here. And then when you're done cutting it in half, you have to put it back together to one line. So you bring the lines together and then continue the horizontal line like that. And you still have to have your vertical line separating the verb and everything. So you put the lines back together onto a single horizontal line, combine those into one, and then do your vertical line. And conjunctions always go on a dotted line. They'll never be on a solid line, always on a dotted line. If we're going to look at an example of this, we have the sentence, Mark nor Jake went. We have our horizontal line here, and we're going to split it in half for Mark and Jake. And then we need our dotted line with nor, our conjunction. Remember, it's for and nor, but, or, yet, so. That's our fanboys. Then we put the lines together. We draw our vertical line, and we have our verb. We've got some practices here that we're going to do together. Kyle and I talked. Fish or birds swim. So, we're going to start out with our first subject. And want to make sure that you have plenty of space because now we're going to be using up more space vertically. We have Kyle, our first subject. And then I'm going to do a dotted line down, make sure that I have enough space for my conjunction. And my conjunction for this sentence is and. So now I've done my dotted line down, and I have my second line here. And the second subject is I. Kyle and I. But now I need to make these lines one line again. So I'm going to draw an arrow, or draw a little arch triangle thing to put it all together. We're going to have our horizontal line. What did Kyle and I do? Kyle and I talked. So we need to draw our vertical line to separate the verb, and we can write talked. Then, fish or birds swim. We have fish, our first subject. Fish, our first subject line. Dotted line down. And our conjunction is or. Then we're going to do our second subject line. Birds. Combine it back to one horizontal line. And then we need our vertical line to separate the verb. And our verb in this sentence is swim. So that is how you would diagram those sentences. Next, there is a you-do practice. So I want you to pause, do this practice. I'm going to give you the answer. Go ahead and pause. And here is our answer. Our first subject is you. dotted line down. Okay, dotted line down, and second subject line. Our second subject is I. Put them together. Then you and I run. So that is for a compound subject. You take the horizontal line and you split it into two. You do the same thing with compound verbs when you have more than one verb in a sentence. You take the horizontal line and you split it into two. Same thing as we did before. Same thing with the conjunction being on a dotted line. An example. Mark ran and jumped. We have Mark, our subject. We have our horizontal line with the vertical line separating the verb. We split it off into two. Our conjunction, ran, jumped. Now we do. The sun shines and glows. Water freezes or boils. We have our subject in the sentence, the sun. That's what's doing something. And we still need to say the under sun. Can't lose any words. The sun, and we need to separate the verb from the subject. And then the line splits in two because we have two verbs. Our first verb is shines. So we put that on the first verb line. Then we have our conjunction. Our conjunction is and. Then we have our second verb, glows. And that is our first sentence. The sun shines and glows. The next one, water freezes or boils. Water is our subject. It's the thing that's doing stuff. It's the main noun. In fact, it's the only noun in this sentence. We do our horizontal line and our vertical line, and then we have to split our horizontal line into two. Freezes is our first verb. We have our conjunction or, and then boils is our second verb. Now, we have the you do practice. I want you to do this one. Kites fly or sink. Go ahead, pause the video. And here is the answer. Kites is our subject. It's the noun that's doing something. Horizontal line, vertical line, split the horizontal line in two. First verb is fly. So we put it on the top line. Dotted line down for our conjunction, or. Second horizontal line for our second verb, sink. Okay, so we have verbs and subjects where we're splitting the horizontal line. Now we're going to get into adjectives and adverbs where we're not splitting the horizontal line anymore. It stays a single line. It's going to look something like this. When you are combining adjectives using a conjunction, you draw a dotted line between them. Just like that. And then you write your conjunction on the line. You have to be very careful with this one to make sure that you have enough space for your adjective after you've written your conjunction. So, for an example, the blue and pink balloons popped. We have balloons, our subject, the ones that are doing something. What are they doing? They popped, so that's our verb. The is describing balloons, but it's not a part of our conjunction phrase. Our conjunction phrase would be blue and pink, our compound phrase. So we just put the or the by itself. Then we do blue on its own little offshoot, pink, and then we connect them with a dotted line. Here's our we do practices. The wide and clear sky stretched, my old but wise grandpa talks. For this first one, the wide and clear sky stretched. Our subject, the thing that's doing something, is the sky. We're going to start with sky, do our long horizontal line, and then we're going to start describing the sky before we put the vertical line in. So, first we have the, describing the sky. Which sky is it? It's the sky. Then we have wide and clear. That's going to be our conjunction phrase, or our compound phrase. We have wide, and notice how much space I'm leaving at the top. That'll be very helpful later. Wide and clear. So we have our adjectives. Now we're going to connect them with a dotted line. Right and in there. This is why it's important to tilt your adjectives when you're writing them on a diagonal line, so that you can tell the difference between your adjectives and your conjunctions. Then what did the sky do? We have a verb, it's stretched. The next one, my old but wise grandpa talks. Grandpa is the one that's doing something, so that's our subject. We have my grandpa. Whose grandpa is it? It's mine. So that's describing grandpa. Then we have old. And we have wise. Old but wise is our compound phrase. So I'm going to use a conjunction and put our conjunction in there. Old but wise. And then what did Grandpa do? Grandpa talks. That is our verb. Now I'd like you to do this one on your own. Go ahead and pause. And here is the answer. Scissors is our subject. Scissors is the one that's doing something. Sharp is describing the scissors. New is describing the scissors. And is connecting them. Then what did the scissors do? We have our verb, cut. When it comes to adverbs, you do the same thing. You have your adverbs, and then you draw a dotted line between them. Exact same thing. So here's our example. Mark climbed quickly but clumsily. We have our verb, climbed, subject, Mark. Quickly is one adverb describing how he climbed. Clumsily is another one describing how he climbed. Dot, 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 but. Okay, so for the practices for conjunction or compound adverbs, I thought deeply and anxiously. Our first subject is I. I am the one that's doing something. Then what am I doing? I thought. How am I thinking? Deeply and anxiously. And we got to connect it with our conjunction. The next one, we danced rapidly but gracefully. We is our subject. What are we doing? We danced. How did we dance? Our adverbs, rapidly, but gracefully. So we have our two adverbs, and then we gotta do our dotted line and our conjunction. Now this one I want you to do on your own. So pause, and now here's the answer. Subject, he's the one doing something. What did he do? He sang. How did he sing? poorly. And loudly. I should have left some more space up here, but mistakes happen. So our conjunction is and. There we go. Okay. So we've talked about subjects, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. But what do you do if you have a helping verb? Because remember, helping verbs are things like we will go. It's when you have more than one word in the verb place, because you have a verb that's helping. It's when you have a verb phrase. Well, when you have that, you just have to pause, or you just have to step back, let the helping verb do its thing before you split the line. So you would have the helping verb in this space before it gets split. In this space right here. For example, Mark is going to walk or bike. We have our helping verbs here, is going to, but then we have multiple main verbs, walk or bike. So we put Mark on his line, we keep going, write down is going to. Then this is where we split the line, and we can have walk or bike. Some practices. He will chop and cut. He is our subject. What is he doing? He will. That's our helping verb, our auxiliary verb. Split it into two lines. What's the first thing he'll do? He'll chop. Then we have our conjunction, and cut. There we go. Our next one, you are going to read and write. Our subject is you. You are going to do something. Are going to is our auxiliary or helping verb. Then we split the line in two. Read is our first main verb, and is our conjunction. And write is our second main verb. Now, I want you to do this one on your own. Kyle practices or rests. I'm sorry, that's not a good example. That's actually not the correct example. Here we go. Okay. Forget that part. Here is your practice. Kyle needs to work and sleep. Go ahead and pause. And here is your answer. Kyle is our subject. He's the one that's doing stuff. What is he doing? He needs to do something. He needs to work. And he needs to sleep. There's your answer. Now we get into our last compound structure. These are for compound sentences. When there is more than one complete sentence in a sentence. So it's combining a set of a subject and a verb and a second set of a subject and a verb. You can also add any branches as needed. So like an adjective, prepositional phrase, adverbs, maybe compound adverbs. We don't know. But this is the basic outline of it. For an example, she cooked and he cleaned. In our first set of subject and verb, we have she. is the one doing something. So we put she up here. Then what is she doing? She cooked. That's our verb. Then we're going to do a conjunction line and write our conjunction on it, and. Then our second subject, he, is our second subject there. Cleaned, our second verb, on its own little line. So it's just connecting two entirely separate lines, just like this connects two entirely separate sentences. And it makes them one. This makes it one diagram. For our examples, I ate broccoli, but he didn't. And you played music, so I left. Start with the first one. I is our subject. Ate. What did I do? I ate something. And broccoli. That's a direct object, going back to direct objects. It's the thing being eaten. So we do our half line that stops at the horizontal line. Then we're going to do our dots down, put our conjunction on there. Then we start our second horizontal line. He is our second subject. The second part of the sentence is talking about him. He didn't. He did not. This is technically a verb or a helping verb, but we don't need to get into the logistics of all that stuff because it's assuming that 8 would go down on this line too. But you don't have to think about that in depthly. Don't worry about that part. Just know that this is technically a linking verb or a helping verb. You played music, so I left. You is our first subject. That's the person who's doing something. What are you doing? You played. And what did you play? Our direct object, music. You played music. And we go into our second complete sentence. We have our conjunction so. So, what? So I left. I am our second subject. And then what I did is I left. Our second verb. Now here's your practice. Birds fly high and fish swim low. This one has prepositions in it, high and low. So remember what we do with prepositions. Go ahead, pause, and do the exercise. Here is your answer. Birds is our first subject. Birds fly, that's our verb. Where do birds fly? Our preposition, birds fly high. Let me do our conjunction line. And then we do our second horizontal line. Fish is our second subject. Fish swim low. Then we have our verb. Second verb is swim. And then our preposition, where it swims low. And that's the answer for that practice. Now, I've got some more of these whiteboard practices. So I have put a square around the ones that I'm going to do with you. And then I've left alone the ones that I want you to try on your own. So the cat and the dog run. Here we go. The cat and the dog run. First subject is cat. Now there's two subjects in this sentence. We have cat and we have dog, but there is a single verb. So what we're going to do is first describe which cat. It's the cat. Then we're going to make our second subject. Our conjunction is and. Then we have the dog is our second subject. Now we're on two separate lines, but we only have one verb, so we need to combine the lines down to one horizontal line. And then we need to do our vertical line, as always, to separate the subjects from the verb. And that is the first sentence. The cat and the dog run. Now, Jack and Kyle laugh. Our subjects in this one, we have Jack, who's doing something, Jack's laughing, and Kyle's laughing, but we still only have one verb. So, we're going to start out with our first subject, Jack. Then we have our conjunction, and. And then we have our second subject, Kyle. Then we only have one verb, so we need to combine the line down to one horizontal line. Do our vertical line as always, and then put in our verb. Now I want you to do these two sentences on your own. Go ahead and pause. And the answers are right here. We have the sun and the moon shine. Our subjects, sun, moon, single verb, shine. We have the sun, the moon, we have our conjunction and we have our verb, shine. Next one, Tom and Jerry argue. We have Tom, first subject, Jerry, second subject. Only one verb, argue. Tom, Jerry, conjunction, argue. Okay. Now this next portion, I have two more sentences for you here. The teacher talked and wrote, the cat stretched and yawned. I'm going to do those examples. First, the teacher talked and wrote. In this one, we have one subject, the teacher, but two verbs. She talked and she wrote. So, starting out with teacher, our single subject. We have our horizontal line. Which teacher? It's the teacher. Then we need our vertical line, as always, to separate our subject from our verb, and split the horizontal line into two horizontal lines. Our first verb is talked. Then we have our conjunction, and. Put it on the conjunction line. And then our second verb is wrote. The teacher talked and wrote. Our next sentence, the cat stretched and yawned. Again, we have a single subject, one verb, two verbs. So it's going to be the same structure. We have cat is our subject because it's doing something. And it's the cat. Then we have to split off our horizontal line. The first thing that it does is stretch. That's the first verb. Conjunction. And then we have our second verb, yawned. And there's the answer for that one. Now I want you to do these two sentences. Pause it. And here's the answer. The baby cried and slept. Single subject. Cried, slept, multiple verbs. The athlete ran and rested. Single subject, athlete, ran, rested, multiple verbs. Our next ones. The dog barked and ran. The boy laughed and jumped. The bird sang and flew. The girl smiled and waved. I want you to do all of these on your own. So go ahead and pause the video. Here are the answers. Oop. I have the wrong page on here. Okay, here's the correct answers. The dog barked and ran is our first one. We have a single subject, the dog. 2 verbs, barked and ran. Our second one, the boy laughed and jumped. Single subject, the boy laughed, jumped, multiple verbs. The bird sang and flew. Bird, 2 verbs. The girl smiled and waved. Single subject, girl, smiled, waved, multiple verbs. Okay. Now, the tall but tired runner walks. The small yet fierce dog barks. In this one, we have a single subject, the runner. We have a single verb, he walks. But we have more than one adjective. Same thing down here, single subject, dog. Single verb, barks. More than one adjective. So, let's do these ones. The tall but tired runner. We know that runner is our subject because runner is the one doing something. Horizontal line. And what is the runner doing? He's walking. You may not want to do your vertical line right away. I just did it because of habit. Now we have a few different adjectives. Tall but tired. So we're putting them on adjective lines. And then we need to connect them with our conjunction. Tall but tired. And there's that one. Now the small yet fierce dog barks. Our subject is dog. I'm actually going to do my adjectives first this time. So we have the dog. We have the small dog. Yet fierce. And we put our conjunction in between small and fierce because it's connecting small and fierce. Those are what it's connecting. Then after that, what did the dog do? The dog barks. Now I want you to do these two on your own. The old but sturdy bridge stands. The bright yet cold sun shines. Go ahead, pause. And here are the answers. Our subject in this first one is bridge. And what is the bridge doing? It's standing. We have old as an adjective, sturdy as an adjective, but is combining them. So our subject, bridge, stands, the. Then we have our compound phrase, old but sturdy. Next one, the bright yet cold sun shines. The sun is the one shining, it's doing something. What's it doing? It's shining. There's our verb, adjective, adjective, conjunction, bright yet cold. Subject, verb, adjective, 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 conjunction, making this a compound phrase. Next one. I've got a whole bunch for you to practice again. Go ahead and pause. Now in this one again is the same sort of thing with compound adjectives. The guard is our subject. The guard is waiting. That's our verb. Single subject, singular verb, multiple adjectives, and a conjunction. For these ones, here are the answers. I'm not going to talk you through them. I'm just going to show them. Okay. Now compound adverbs. The runner moved quickly but carefully. We have our subject, the runner. What is the runner doing? The runner is moving, our verb. And then describing how the runner moved. Quickly but carefully. Those are our adverbs. And then we have our conjunction right here, but. So we're going to diagram that one. So we start off with runner, because that's our subject. Describe runner is the word the runner. And our vertical line. The runner moved, that's our verb. And then we have two adverbs. The runner moved how? Well, the runner moved quickly. And the runner also moved carefully. And between those, we have our conjunction, but. Now the child spoke softly yet clearly. Subject is child, the one doing it. Verb, spoke. So, child, horizontal line. Describing the child is the word the. Vertical line, what did the child do? The child spoke. And we have our adverbs, softly, and then clearly. Conjunction between them is the word yet. So, the child spoke softly yet clearly. Here we go. Now I have two more practices here. The dog barked loudly but briefly. The student worked slowly but steadily. Go ahead and pause. And here's the answers. All right, a few more practices for you to pause. And here's the answers to those ones. Okay. She can sing and dance. This one we've got multiple verbs again. Sing, dance, single subject, she. Then we have this word can. Can is our helping verb. Is part of this. It's the helping verb. There's only one helping verb, but there are multiple main verbs. So here's how we do that. She is our subject. Our horizontal line, vertical line. Then continuing on the horizontal line is can, that helping verb. Then we split it for the main verbs. She can sing, and is our conjunction. And then our second main verb, she can dance. She can sing and dance. Next one, he has studied and practiced. Our subject is he. Vertical line. What has he done? He has, our helping verb. Split it into two lines. He has studied, our first main verb. Conjunction, and what he has practiced. That's our second main verb. I've got three practices here that I want you to pause and do. And here are the answers to those three. Okay, here are four more practices. Go ahead and pause and do those. And here are the answers to them. Now, one more type of compound sentence to do. I ran home and she walked. The dog barked, but the cat slept. These are complete sentences that are combined using a conjunction. We have one subject, I, one verb, ran. We have another subject, she, another verb, walked. Again, the dog, one subject, barked, but the cat slept. So we have two different sets of subject and verb in each sentence. So we're going to start out with the first one. I ran home and she walked. I is our first subject. I ran. And where did I run? We have a preposition. I ran home. Then we have our second part of the sentence. We need our conjunction, and then we have our second horizontal line for the second part of the sentence. Second subject, she. What did she do? She walked. Now our second example, the dog barked, but the cat slept. Our first subject is dog. It's the dog. When we separate it from its verb, the dog barked. Then we have our conjunction to combine the two sentences together. But. Then we have our second horizontal line for the second part of the sentence. The cat slept. The second verb. Now I want you to do these two practices. He studied hard, so he passed. The sun set and the stars appeared. Go ahead and pause. Here are the answers. Remember, this is describing how he studied. It's our adverb. And then, after that, we got 4 more practices for you. Pause it and do those practices. And then here are the 4 answers for those. At this point, you should be able to do your entire sentence diagramming booklet. If you are continuing to struggle, please let me know, ask questions. But I hope that these videos were helpful for you.